filed, and then after several instances of multiple occasions, a revocation of the conditional use permit can be reheard by you guys.
Thank you. Is the applicant present? Would you like to speak?
Sure, yeah.
My name is Ron Brill, P.O. Box 4670, I'm the property manager. We did also examine the letter that was sent by the neighbor over the street, 2 houses down, which is a rental. And certainly I wanted to reach out to her as well to let her know that her 2 examples, one was disturbing the peace. Again, since 2019, there have only been 6 calls to the police from vacation rentals in the city of Brookings, so I don't think that that is going to be an issue. But also, we put the name and we put my phone number, which is my cell number, in case there is an issue. I always tell them call the police as well, and that has happened once since I've been managing properties of our properties. And then the second, I think, concern was that it would increase the number of cars using that road and that street. However, it was already a vacation rental, and no one in the past, since 2022, has seen any of that kind of movement or increased motor vehicle distribution. So I don't think that there will be a problem, but we certainly will always comply with the law and try to be as good a neighbor as we can be.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Ron? Thank you, Ron. Is there anybody in support that would like to speak? Anyone opposed that would like to speak? Any interested parties that would like to speak? I assume you have no applicant rebuttal to our no speakers? Okay. Any staff additional comments? Does any participant request additional time to present evidence? In any land use decision, the burden of producing substantial evidence to demonstrate compliance with the applicable criteria is upon the applicants. If adequate evidence is not provided, the application must be denied. An applicant may be granted up to 7 additional days to submit written argument. Does the applicant request additional time to submit written argument?
No.
If not, are you willing to waive written argument and have decision made this evening?
Yes.
Thank you. It is now 7:13 and public testimony is closed on Planning Commission file number MC-1-24/CUP-4-22. We will now proceed to the Planning Commission discussion and make a decision on the matter. From this point forward, no member of the audience will be allowed to address the commission. All right, do I hear a motion? Any discussion?
I move that the planning commission approve file number MC-1-24/CUP-4-22, a request for a minor change of the conditional use permit for 1228 Hub Street, changing permit into the new property owners' names, Hunter and Shelby Hensler, based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
Second.
Do you want me to call the question?
Yeah, you can call the question.
Commissioner Coons?
No. No. Yes.
Commissioner Wolkowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Bond? Aye. Commissioner Bruce?
Aye.
Chair Watwood?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. You're approved.
I move that the planning commission approve the final order regarding file MC-1-24/CUP-4-22 based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
Vote on the final motion.
Chair Watwood,
Aye.
Commissioner Coons,
Aye.
Commissioner Bruce,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolkowitz,
Aye.
Commissioner Bond.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is agenda item 4.2-MC-2-24/CUP-5-23. The time is now 7:15 PM and the public hearing to consider the following application is open. In the matter of file number MC-2-24/CUP-5-23, a request for approval of a minor change of conditional use permit of 312 Railroad Street, changing the permit into a new property owner's names. The owners and applicants are Mark and Hazel Heller as Heller Family LLC. The criteria used to decide this matter is found in section 17.124.170 short-term rentals and section 17.116.090 minor change of the Brookings Municipal Code, BMC. This is a quasi-judicial hearing and the Planning Commission will make a decision on the matter. We will now proceed with the staff report.
As stated in the staff report, this is a minor change to an existing conditional use permit. The original applicants of the conditional use permit complied with regulations to operate a short-term rental. The property, and it was sold to the current applicant on December 4th, 2023. Mark and Hazel Heller. The permit was issued on May 2nd, 2023. So we're just here to ask to approve a change in ownership of the existing CUP.
Okay. And is the applicant present, or do we need to dial
We
them up?
need to dial them in.
Yeah, I guess we should have dialed them up first. Yeah, we missed that, I apologize. So this is somebody's gonna present by phone, so we're gonna have to call them, so just give us a second.
Okay, Tony, you're probably gonna go blank for a little while, and we'll bring you back in.
Yep, no problem.
Okay.
Hello, this is Mark Feller.
Hi, Mark, you are on speakerphone. You are in the planning commission meeting now, so I'm gonna go ahead and let Skip take over.
Okay, thank you.
Please go, Tony.
Hold on one second, Mark, we're just trying to we have one commissioner that is remote as well, we're trying to get him back on the phone.
Basically, I'm just listening in, right?
Tony, do we have you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay. All right. So Mark, we're into your agenda, and did you have any testimony that you would like to testify to here? Anything to say to?
No, I just wanted to be there to observe, and if someone speaks, I'll respond to it.
Okay.
I filed the application, and I hope it's approved.
Yeah, and I have to apologize, we started your agenda item, and the staff read their report before we called you, so we're a little bit into that. So, did you want
No problem.
to hear that staff report again? Do you want me to start over on that?
No,
Or are you good? Okay,
I don't think I need to.
yeah, okay,
If there's something
all right.
I need to hear there.
Yeah, so is there anybody present here that is in support of this for you? or only you by attending by phone?
Just me attending my phone.
Okay. Anybody in the audience in support? I don't see. Anybody in the audience opposed? Any interested parties? Okay. And I suppose you don't have any rebuttal to any of thing that nobody said, so we'll skip right through that. So does staff have any additional comments?
So,
Yeah. Any additional comments from staff? Okay. Does any participant request additional time to present evidence? Mark, do you request any time to present additional evidence?
No, I presented everything I presented was written.
Okay, thank you. In any land use decision, the burden of producing substantial evidence to demonstrate compliance with the applicable criteria is upon the applicants. If adequate evidence is not provided, the application must be denied. An applicant may be granted up to 7 additional days to submit written argument. Does the applicant request additional time to submit written argument?
No,
If not, are you willing to waive written argument and have a decision made this evening?
yes,
Okay. It is now 7:21 PM and public testimony is closed on Planning Commission file number MC-2-24/CUP-5-23. We will now proceed to Planning Commission discussion and make a decision on the matter. From this point forward, no member of the audience will be allowed to address the commission. Any discussion?
I motion that the planning commission approve file number MC-2-24/CUP-5-23, a request for a minor change of the conditional use permit for 312 Railroad Street, changing permit into new properties owner's name, Mark and Hazel Heller, as Heller Family LLC, based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
I second.
Commissioner Bond? Aye. Or Chair Watwood?
Aye.
Commissioner Wolkowitz?
Aye.
Commissioner Coons?
Aye.
Commissioner Bruce?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Your motion on the final order?
Yep, I move that the planning commission approve the final order regarding file MC-2-24/CUP-5-23 based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
Commissioner Bruce?
Aye.
Commissioner Wolkowitz?
Aye.
Chair Watwood?
Aye.
Commissioner Bond? Commissioner Coons?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Mark, you're approved. You can hang up now if you'd like.
I just want to thank you for the excellent audio quality. I'm kind of amazed I could hear everything around the clear section.
Oh, good. Yeah, thank you. Have a nice evening.
Okay, sir.
Tony, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, hold on. We're going to get the next applicant on the line before we start this.
No problem.
Thank you.
Hello, Carl. This is Michelle with the City of Brookings. You are on speakerphone in the Planning Commission meeting. I'm going to conference you in. Tony, are you there?
I'm back.
Okay, here we go.
And Carl, you're still there as well?
I am, thank you.
Okay, all right. Agenda item 4.3-CUP-1-24. The time is now 7:25 PM and the public hearing to consider the following application is opened. In the matter of file number CUP-1-24, a request for approval of a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental facility at 1007 Ruth Lane. The applicants and owners are Carl and Emily Clyde, trustees of the Clyde Family Trust. The criteria used to decide this matter are found in section 17.124.170, short-term rentals, chapter 17.136, conditional uses, and section 17.20.040Q, single-family residential, R16. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, and the Planning Commission will make a decision on the matter. We will now proceed with the staff report.
As stated in the staff report, this is a request for a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental in a single-family dwelling located at 1007 Ruth Lane, zoned R1. The subject property is surrounded by R1 single-family residential parcels. It's a regular shaped parcel, 0.2 acres in size, and located on the north side of Ruth Lane. The property is accessed from Ruth Lane, which has a paved travel surface, and there are public improvements in the right-of-way. The property is developed with a single-family, 6-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,280 square foot dwelling and a 2-car garage and a big driveway, enough to accommodate 8 vehicles. The existing driveway is of sufficient size to accommodate 6 vehicles, and the double-car garage will not be available for guest use, meeting the requirement for off-street parking. Utilities are provided, and a local representative residing within the Brookings Urban Growth Boundary will be responsible for the property. We have not received any written comments from adjoining property owners. Staff recommends approval on the application.
Thank you, Laura. Number 2, the applicant. Carl, did you have anything to say? Would you like to testify? And if you do, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, thank you, I have nothing to add.
Okay, all right. Is there anybody in the audience in support? Anybody in the audience opposed? Any interested party? Yeah.
Speaker slips up there.
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Elizabeth, Christine, would you like to approach the podium and state your name and address?
My name is Elizabeth Christine. I'm at 825 Highland Avenue in Brookings. The reason I wanted to speak is I wanted you to be aware that it's like a natural amphitheater. The sound just travels right up to the hill. And you can hear a lot of noise. If it's like for a party house, I know that, someone rents it and then others come up and chip in and, they drink and have a good time, but things can happen, like arguments, I've even heard of some shootings and things like that, to where they have discontinued them in their city. So, I used to live next door to a veterans hall that rented out, and it was a veterans hall, so it's weddings and it's not, crazy party stuff. But there's still, once people get, inebriated or high, their inhibitions are lowered, and I don't even want to tell you the things that could happen. But I just wanted you to be aware, the noise travels right up that hill. It's a natural amphitheater. And, if there's 6 bedrooms in this house, that could be a lot of people and a lot of cars. Calling the police, I've had to do that seniors. I just don't think that it's suitable for the neighborhood. It's full of young families, older families, and seniors. And that's what I wanted to say.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Did you have any response for that? Were you able to hear that, Carl?
It was really difficult to hear. I think what I did pick up on is that, is this one of the neighbors in the cul-de-sac or on a different street nearby?
A different,
Island.
yeah, a different street above,
Okay.
yeah.
I certainly understand, her concerns about noise and peacefulness. It's not our intent to create some party house or anything like that over there. We use this home as our own personal vacation home when we visit in Brookings, over from Grants Pass, and, we both grew up here and been doing the coast for years doing that. So it's a place that we want to make sure is treated respectfully and also treat our neighbors with respect. We have specific rules in our listing that will have quiet hours. I believe currently quiet hours are from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. 7 a.m. my wife says. And also, we've made a point, as far as our house rules, is that we're not going to be hosting any parties or any types of events. So I don't think we have to worry about that. Also, I would note that it is a little bit more of an upscale short-term rental, and so the type of person that we're dealing with is not a bunch of teenagers or college kids looking to get wild. And we do have a ring camera on site, which allows us to measure noise. And if I find out that there's a problem, I'm going to be the first one to address it and make sure that it doesn't impact our neighbors as much as possible. So, we did take extra steps while we're in the escrow process to install 180 feet of cedar fencing down each side of the driveway. And one of the important parts of that was to create privacy for ourselves, but also to create privacy for the adjoining neighbors, and also deflect any potential overlay of sound that could affect them. And I'm not familiar with the area altogether, so I can't speak as far as it having an amphitheater type effect and how it will impact somebody on the Highland Avenue road. I'm not even sure quite how close that is, but I do appreciate this lady's time, and I appreciate her concerns as well, and we'll do everything that we can to try and resolve it.
Okay, thank you. Do you have a local representative? I don't have a packet. Do you have a local representative here, Carl?
I do, yeah. My uncle was there looking.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't live too far away, okay. And is there a limit on the amount of people and cars?
Yeah, there is. The current limit is 14 people. There are actually 14 beds there. We do have a surcharge beyond, if people come on, have more than 12 as a surcharge, which is just waiting a little bit on that, I think. And then there's 6 parking spots in the driveway. I think that's actually what the staff report indicated. They thought that the off-street parking would accommodate. We haven't set a specific car limit. In fact, I haven't even pondered the question. Certainly, we do not want cars spilling out into the roadway. We're going to be very, very clear with folks that they need to park off the street
Yeah.
to not bother the neighbors.
Okay, thank you. Any staff additional comments? Okay. Does any participant request additional time to present evidence?
Do we have any other speakers?
Oh, I'm sorry, any other speakers? Did anybody else want to speak? I'm sorry, thank you, Tony. Does any participant request additional time to present evidence? Carl, do you?
Not required, thank you.
Thank you. In any land use decision, the burden of producing substantial evidence to demonstrate compliance with the applicable criteria is upon the applicant. If adequate evidence is not provided, the application must be denied. An applicant may be granted up to 7 additional days to submit written argument. Does the applicant request additional time to submit written argument?
No.
If not, are you willing to waive written argument and have a decision made this evening?
Yes.
Okay. It is now 7:35 PM and public testimony is closed on Planning Commission file number CUP-1-24. We will now proceed to Planning Commission discussion and make a decision on the matter. From this point forward, no member of the audience will be allowed to address the commission. So I think I would just like to say that we've had similar concerns in the past, and I think that it's been, that problem, it seems like most people that come to Brookings to use a vacation rental are here to enjoy a weekend with their family and not so much party. I understand the concerns about, I understand the concerns, but I just don't think we've seen that. And I think when we checked the police log over the previous 5 years or something, I think there was only a handful of instances, if even that. I don't know if that's changed.
And not necessarily associated with noise either.
Right, so,
Garbage cans not being put out or something like that.
yeah.
A little louder, please, Tony. We only had, I think, 6 calls and I think 2 of them were the same residents were not putting their trash out. Not necessarily related to noise.
Yeah,
So it's very, very, it's not common. In fact, I don't think we have any for most.
yeah, and this is a conditional use permit, so if those conditions are not met and they have too many complaints, they can lose their conditional use permit. And I don't know, has anybody ever, I guess we probably haven't had that scenario, but it's certainly, if those conditions exist, then the recourse would be to call the police and let them know that it's occurring.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say?
I just think it's good that there's a quiet hour too. I mean, from 7 to, or 10 PM to 7 AM. I think that's going to give people a little assurance that there's not going to be partying going on extremely late. So I like that the owners are doing that, to kind of back that. So, yeah, it's good.
Okay, so
I move that the planning commission approve file number CUP-1-24, a request for a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 1007 Ruth Lane, based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
Second.
Commissioner Wolkowitz,
Aye.
Commissioner Coons,
Aye.
Commissioner Bond,
Aye.
Chair Watwood,
aye.
Commissioner Bruce,
Aye.
motion carries.
I move that the planning commission approve the final order regarding file CUP-1-24, based on the findings and conclusions stated in the staff report and subject to the conditions of approval.
Second.
Vote on the final motion?
Chair Watwood,
Aye.
Commissioner Bond,
Aye.
Commissioner Bruce,
Aye.
Commissioner Coons,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolkowitz,
Aye.
motion carries.
Carl, your, congratulations, your conditional use permit is approved, so you can hang up now if you'd like.
Thank you, I appreciate your consideration.
Yep, have a nice evening. Agenda item 4.4-CUP-2, oh, I'm sorry, hold on one second, we're gonna get this applicant on the phone. Thank you for getting that.
Cheryl, you're on speakerphone. This is Michelle with the City of Brookings, and we have the
Hi.
Planning Commission meeting.
Wait, let me turn this down. Okay, hi.
Tony, are you there?
Still here?
Okay, okay. So we are on to agenda item 4.4-CUP-2-24. The time is now 7:41 PM, and the public hearing to consider the following application is opened. In the matter of file number CUP-2-24, a request for approval of conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental facility at 914 Marina Heights. The applicant and owner is Cheryl Kelmar. The criteria used to decide this matter are found in section 17.124.170, short-term rentals, chapter 17.136, conditional uses, and section 17.20.040Q, single-family residential R16. This is a quasi-judicial hearing, and the Planning Commission will make a decision on the matter. We will now proceed with the staff report.
Stated in the staff report, this is an application for a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 914 Marina Heights. So the property is regular in shape, 1 acre in size, located on the south side of Marina Heights. Property is accessed from Marina Heights, which has a paved gravel surface, so approximately. There are no public improvements in the right of way. Property is developed in a single-family, two-bedroom, two-bath, 1,422 square foot dwelling, single-car garage, or single-car carport, and a driveway large enough to accommodate 5 vehicles. The existing driveway is of sufficient size to accommodate 5 vehicles, and the carport will be available for guest use, meeting the requirements for off-street parking.
I can't hear anything.
Utilities are provided, and the applicant has advised the local representative residing within Brookings' urban growth boundary will be responsible for the property. It's, the application has Manuel Contreras, who's 407 North, which is in the urban growth boundary.
Can you hear that, Cheryl?
I heard the name Manuel come up.
Okay. Can you speak up, please, Tony?
Yeah.
Hold on a second, Cheryl. We're going to get him a microphone.
Well, that was the end of the staff report, so you have any questions?
So we have a local representative who's hired?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she submitted a local representative, 407 Knoll Lane, they are in the urban growth boundary.
I don't know if there's objection.
No.
It
Tony
was just
was-
a question.
Yeah, just a question. Tony was reading the staff report, and there was a question regarding the staff report about a local representative. You did receive a copy of the staff report. And Cheryl, you did receive a copy of the staff report, correct?
I think so.
Okay. So the city's given their staff report, so you're up as the applicant. Would you like to present testimony?
Well, if there's no objection, then I'm not sure what I'm giving testimony. I applied for a short-term
Sure.
permit and intend to be respectful.
Right.
And not having neighbors and things. I've been a landlord for over 35 years, have done Airbnb and Vibro and all of that, so know what to do.
Okay. So there's, as part of our procedure, so you get to speak and testify on your behalf. And then if you have anybody here or with you that's in support, they're offered an opportunity to speak. And then after that, anybody opposed would be offered the opportunity to speak. And then after that, you can give rebuttal to any objections, but we have not had objections yet.
well, I'm not sure what to say in terms of speaking out for myself, except what I already said.
Okay.
The house is nice, it's in a neighborhood where there's plenty of space between neighbors. I would be concerned if I had an objection of one of my neighbors, Tiffany Bird, because we're in a war over her light that,
Can
shot down
Cheryl,
my property.
Cheryl, can you just,
But, besides that,
okay. So, do you have anybody with you to speak in support, or is there anybody in the audience that is going to speak in support?
do I need to speak in support? I think short-term rentals.
You've already done that.
No.
Cheryl, you've already done that. I'm just asking if you had somebody there with you that wanted to speak via phone? And also if there's, okay, and also if there's anybody present in our audience that wanted to speak in support. So seeing that we don't have anybody in support, we do have one person that has public comment.
Okay. It's hard to hear.
Yeah, so we're gonna get to that right now. And Pete, you're opposed, is that correct? Okay, so would you please approach the podium, state your name and your address?
My name is Pete Chasar. I live at 935 Marina Heights Road. And by the way, I've lived at that location since September of 1999. So it's going on 25 years that I've been here. You have my written testimony in front of you, but for the applicant, maybe I should read through it so she can understand it. She doesn't have the testimony in
I
front of her.
can't hear.
She can't hear.
Can you pull the microphone a little bit closer, please?
Can you
Did-
hear now?
Was she sent a copy of the letter?
We just received it.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, if you'd go ahead and read that, Pete, that would be great.
Okay. I request that you do not approve this application for the following reasons. Could you hear that?
Cheryl, can you hear him?
Yeah, heard that.
Okay.
Who's
Okay.
speaking?
His name is, no, his name is Pete Chasar, and he's going to speak, so as long as you can hear him, he's going to go ahead and finish.
Okay.
Criterion, now it's really coming through. Criterion 2, relation of streets as well as background information, states paved travels.
Yeah.
You can't hear?
Maybe it's reverb. Maybe I'm too close. Can you hear now?
Cheryl, if you, would you like to have me text this number to you, or this picture of this to you? Would that work, Tony?
Sure. It would have been nice to receive this before the meeting in a timely manner.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll go, is it okay if I read it? You can hear me fine, correct? Is that okay if I read it? No? Is it okay if I read it?
I mean, it's.
Is it okay with you, Pete, if I read it?
Oh, yeah, it's fine.
Okay, Cheryl, I'm going to read Pete's letter, so you can, because you can hear me fine, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so this is from Pete Chasar, 935 Marina Heights Road, Brookings, Oregon, 97415. He has his phone number and his email address, dated February 6, 2024, addressed to the City of Brookings Planning Commission at 898 Elk Drive, Brookings, Oregon, 97415, regarding the CUP 2-24. Dear Commissioners, I request that you do not approve this application for the following reasons. Criterion 2, relation of streets as well as background information, states paved travel surface is approximately 25 feet in width. It is not. Between this property and Old County Road, the pavement width measures only 20 feet. This undersized section of Marina Heights Road also has limited shoulders, tight curves, and 3 hidden driveways. To one side is an open drainage ditch, to the other side a steep drop-off or steel safety barrier that squeezes the road narrower. When approached head-on by delivery vans, trash collection trucks, and construction vehicles, the road is already a serious challenge. Add unfamiliar non-resident drivers, and it will be even worse safety hazard. Criterion 3, neighborhood impact, states that the conditions of approval require a local manager, and Section D of BMC 17.124.170 short-term rentals requires that local manager's representative's name and telephone number be provided to all neighboring property owners, yet that information critical to neighborhood impact and city oversight was blanked out on this application and not included in a neighbor notice letter. Above all, this application should not be approved, nor should any other applications impacting traffic safety in this area until Marina Heights Road has a paved surface that actually is 25 feet wide, not 20 feet. Sincerely, Pete Chasar.
May I say something?
Okay.
Yes, so he's going to say something, so just let us know if you can't hear, okay? Go ahead, Pete.
For more than 20 years, I knew that the paving on Marina Heights Road was not 25 feet, that it was only 20 feet, and it was an issue way back then. When I saw this come up on this application, I went, what? Approximately 25 feet? No, it's approximately 20 feet. And that kind of error of fact in 3 places in this application makes one question the entire application, how many other errors might be in here. Then on top of that, the copy of the application that I received had the name of the manager blanked out, so I could not have that information. One of the reasons why I got this objection here at this time was there was nothing in the notice to the neighbors that said you must in advance submit your testimony, that you can come to the meeting and submit your testimony. I don't think that was clear in that letter. Oh, and if you wonder, how do I know for sure that Marina Heights is only 20 feet wide? I measured it yesterday morning in 2 places with a steel tape. And I suggest that before you approve this application, you confirm what I'm saying, because this is not correct that you have an error of fact so basic in this document. No questions for me?
I don't have any questions for Pete?
Me?
No, not you. We'll give you an opportunity to rebut that. Okay.
May I say one more thing? I didn't expect that we'd be doing this electronically. Or maybe I would have stayed home and done it electronically too. And I think this also indicates that the people who have the short-term rentals are absentee owners. And I have a feeling that's correct. And that's one of the issues in general with short-term rentals.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Do we have any interested parties? I see none. Cheryl, applicant rebuttal, would you like to respond to that?
Yeah, well, I can't respond to whether the application was complete or whatever. I did what I was told I needed to do. But in terms of short-term rental and the width of the road and drivers on the road, when you do short-term rental, there's only one person who comes to the house at a time. It's not like I'm having a big party where there's going to be 20 people all of a sudden come up the road who don't know how to drive. And when I bought that house, I was told Marina Heights was quiet. There are so many big trucks, huge trucks, and building going on way up above Marina where I live, where there's people who don't live there on that road all the time. It's so noisy, I can't even sleep. So the idea that I should be discriminated and not be able to do short-term rentals because somehow one lone family is going to drive up this road to go to my house versus the massive numbers of trucks and cars that go by my house on a daily basis is absurd. That would be discrimination. In terms of the width of the road, I can't speak for that. I was never told that I wouldn't be able to use my property in a certain way because of the width of the road. There are huge trucks again on that road. People who have never been there, there's a huge construction going on at the top of the hill. Again, short-term rental does not mean I'm gonna have a flood of people all the time coming up all at once. There will be a family at a time, maybe on a weekend, and that road is adequate entrance to my house. There's no big ditches or anything to enter my house that should cause anybody any problems.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess that's all I have to say. I think Edward's comment is absurd as it applies in this case, because if his argument can shut me down from being able to use it,
Well,
it should shut
sure,
every person
Cheryl.
living on top of the hill down.
Sure, okay. If you have anything specifically related to it, not just an opinion about other buildings,
Well,
we'd like to hear it.
I would like to comment then if I get a chance, because I want to do research of all the houses being developed way above me, and to see what, the city giving them permits to do all that work without taking into consideration the width of Marina Road down by my house.
Okay, thank you. Does staff have any additional comments?
Other than just, we didn't painstakingly go measure every section of Marina Heights Road, approximately 25 feet, with probably fairly accurate. I mean, it might be an average, it could be gravel shoulders that people turn out into and make it a travel surface when there are two vehicles on the street. So I would say that 25 feet isn't a benchmark that requires to be there for a short-term rental. We're just stating that it's approximately 25 feet in width. And that could include a gravel shoulder in some locations. So, and secondly, if this house was occupied by a family with 3 teenagers, I'm sure there'd be a lot more traffic going in and out of that place than there would be a short-term rental. So it's an assumption that people make when they want to challenge the impact that this has on a neighborhood regarding traffic. And I've said this many times. We've had, just like the argument about parties. I mean, we've shown that we don't have this issue in our city, yet we still get the concern from neighbors that it's going to happen as an assumption, just like property values.
Tony, what's the minimum width for this kind of road? 20 feet? Two 10-foot
I would
lanes?
say that if we were developing a new subdivision, it would probably not be 20 feet.
Okay, but I mean, it's existing now. When it was,
It's an existing,
right.
non-conforming road. We accept those all the time in our system. Prior to our land development code, that road was there.
Okay.
So when all that property was annexed into the city, we accepted it as it was. Now, you can imagine how challenging it would be to widen it. And we certainly wouldn't be widening that road for the city's expense. We may be looking at a local improvement district to have that happen. I mean, it's lots of challenges there in just randomly widening the road because of development.
I have a question. Did the representative names get handed out to the neighbors, or does that just happen?
What happened there is midway through the application, she changed from one representative to another, and so we marked it out. The application had already gone out.
Okay.
So, but it is a requirement.
Yeah.
So she did comply with that prior to this meeting, and we did provide that information to you, so. That's all I have.
May I make one more comment? That's not an argument.
Well, I don't think that, I think that time has passed. Sorry, Pete. I think that time has passed. Is that,
You closed it already.
yeah, it's already closed. Anything else, Tony, or? No. Does any participant request additional time to present evidence? I see a hand raised. Pete?
Yes.
Okay.
You can come up with it.
Can I do it now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
If on the application, the 25 is changed to 20, I will be happy.
It's only in the staff report, it's not on the application.
Well,
Okay.
in the staff report, because the staff report supports the document.
Right.
Again, the staff report, we did not painstakingly measure all of Marina Heights Road.
I think a
So
majority of it's,
for us to say that it's 20 feet could also be inaccurate.
Then my suggestion is to measure it, as I did yesterday. Just a steel tape and measure it. But that's my suggestion. And as I said, that will make me happy.
Peter, are you claiming the whole road of Marina Heights is 20 feet or
No,
just that
no,
one
from-
section?
That one section from Old County Road to the property, to the
Yeah.
914.
Again,
That's all.
It's just,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
kind of, yeah.
I mean, I think that, well, I don't want to speak for the city road department, but I don't know that, so if you go out there and measure it 20, are we going to have to shut that road down? I mean, we're still going to have somebody there.
I'm saying the legal road easement could be different. It could be 30 feet, 50 feet on each side of the
Yeah.
road, but this is just, it doesn't have to be the actual width of the road.
I don't,
Since I drive that road every
It's
day,
going to apply to everything being done
Cheryl.
above me.
yeah.
It just discriminates against me. This is absurd.
Yeah.
Okay.
and I say, since I drive the road every day, I'm very aware that it's too narrow and too windy. And so when somebody says it's 25 feet, it bothers me.
Okay,
You know, especially in an official document. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, does any other participant request additional time to present evidence? I see no hands raised. In any land use decision, the burden of producing substantial evidence to demonstrate compliance with the applicable criteria is on the applicant. If adequate evidence is not provided, the application must be denied. An applicant may be granted up to 7 additional days to submit written argument. Does the applicant request additional time to submit written argument?
Well, 7 days isn't long enough. I'm in Southern California, so I can't come up there and measure the road for every
So-
short-term rental.
so,
that you
Cheryl,
have
Cheryl,
To make sure their
Cheryl,
road is bigger
Cheryl,
than 20 feet wide.
Cheryl, do you request additional time to submit written argument? If not, are you willing to, if you are not, are you willing to waive written argument and have a decision made this evening?
Well, I don't have, I'm in Southern California, I can't come up there in 7 days. And the additional argument I would put is to go and look at all the short-term rentals that exist and look at the roads, because I know roads are a huge issue in Brookings, and see if the same criteria is being applied. I'd also like to go and see all the building being done at the top of the hill and see if the city has brought up the size of my road for all those applications. Or am I being singled out, just like Tiffany's Light, once again?
Cheryl.
About something for my property that I can't use it.
Cheryl,
That property is
Do-
just a pain in the ass so far.
Cheryl, do you request additional time to submit written argument?
A month. I'll be up there in the end of February. I can't come up there in 7 days to get the evidence I would need
Skip.
to show
Walk her
that if
through
you
it.
don't grant this, it's discrimination against
Hey,
me.
Cheryl,
Because this
Just tell her it's a
criteria
yes or
was
no.
not
Cheryl,
in other areas.
Cheryl, yes or no? Do you request additional time to submit written argument?
Well, I guess I have to. I am so tired of these. of this-
So Cheryl, can you answer me, yes or no? Do you request additional time, yes or no? Yes, you do.
Yes, but my written response is not going to have the research I need unless I come up there.
Okay, so she's,
These are the seconds.
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
just tell her that's her.
So I'm going to read this to you again. So you've requested additional time, but if you don't request additional time, are you willing to waive written argument and have a decision made this evening?
No, I'm willing to go to court for all the discrimination that's been done against me in Brookings, including 75. And then
Hey, Cheryl,
online calling me a crazy lady. That's what I'm willing to do.
Cheryl,
I'm willing to
Cheryl.
get an attorney to fight
Cheryl,
constantly abusing me.
Cheryl,
Is that on your recording?
it is on my recording. Please, can you just answer the question?
I said yes.
Okay.
I just sent you a letter and CC it to my attorney.
Okay.
This is absolutely absurd.
Okay, so she's requesting additional time.
Well, again, I'm gonna respond and say that the 25 feet is not a criteria.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
not a
She's
criteria.
Yeah.
need to request it.
Just the
Yeah.
fact that it's stating in the staff report that it's approximately 25 feet doesn't make it a criteria.
Yeah, it's, can you hear what Tony's saying, Cheryl?
No, I can't.
Okay, the 25 feet is not a criteria for approval for this. It's noted in the staff report, it's not a criteria. That's what Tony's saying.
Okay, I'll take a chance and let you guys rule. If not, I'm gonna get an attorney and fight this, because I'm really.
Cheryl, just, so, I'm gonna ask you one more time so we can be clear. Does the applicant request additional time to submit written argument?
Well, yes, I have to submit written argument.
If you don't, listen, if you're not gonna request additional time, are you willing to waive written argument and have a decision made this evening?
Tell her to make a decision this evening.
I don't know what that means to me legally. If I say no, and then I have to go and fight something legally, I don't know what the ramifications are. And I'm sorry for getting upset, but I'm really like beyond my scale and dealing with.
Okay, hold on one second. Cheryl, hold on one second.
Reminder that if the planning commission does not approve this application, she has the ability to appeal it to the council, which would be at the next meeting. Next
So-
available meeting, which would be a short, like a couple weeks away.
If you are not approved here, it can be appealed to the council at the next meeting, which is a few weeks away.
But I won't be there in 2 weeks. My
Okay,
boyfriend
okay.
died, and I'm have to be here.
Okay,
until
so
the end of the
then,
month.
so then what I need you to do is, I'm gonna repeat it one more time, okay? Do you request additional time to submit written argument?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll send a letter.
okay.
So we have to receive it within 7 days.
Yeah, so we need to receive your written argument within 7 days. Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl.
Yes,
Okay, did you hear me? So we need to receive your written argument within 7 days.
okay.
Okay,
So we'll schedule this for a hearing at the next planning commission meeting.
yeah. Okay, so they'll receive your written argument and your evidence, and then you'll be on the next agenda for next month's meeting.
I won't have evidence because I won't be there to get evidence, which
Okay.
will be what my
Okay.
mother says.
Okay.
To investigate other short-term rentals.
Right, okay. Well, we're gonna have to continue it on for whatever you provide.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Have a great evening. Do we have to, that's a first. Do we have to, I guess
We
we,
need to close the public testimony.
No, it's still.
yeah,
It's open.
it's still open, okay. It says right here, look to staff.
We're looking.
Look to staff.
Look
for
to staff,
direction.
please help
Look to
us.
staff for direction.
So continue it to the,
Yeah, we'll continue it to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I move that we continue discussion of the application CUP-2-24 to the March Planning Commission hearing.
Get a vote.
Commissioner Coons,
Aye.
Chair Watwood,
Aye.
Commissioner Wolkowitz,
Aye.
Commissioner Bruce,
Aye.
Commissioner Bond,
Aye.
motion carries.
Thank you. Item 5, minutes for approval. Did everybody get a copy or everybody?
Point of
I'm
order,
sorry.
before we do that, I'd like to go back up to number 3 and
Okay.
the planning commission year in review, which is page 3.
Oh,
The Berkman's Planning Commission met in forum 7 times in 2023. The commission is made up of 7 members and is chaired by Skip Walker and with Cody Coons serving as vice chair. The other members of the commission include Sage Bruce, who replaced John Weaver in June 2023, Skip Hunter, Clayton Humber, Skip Watwood, and Anthony Bond. Of course, since we've written this, during 2023, we've had both Skip and Clayton on the commission. Staff liaisons include myself, Public Works and Development Services Director, Lori Zemer, Deputy Public Works and Development Services Director, and Michelle Ribideau, Public Works and Development Services Administrative Assistant. During the year, the Planning Commission acted on the following matters: approval of 10 conditional use permits, all of which were short-term rentals, approval of minor partition splitting one parcel into 2 parcels, denial of one comprehensive plan amendment to rezone parcel from R3 to R1, denial of an appeal of a notice of abatement issued for operating a variety of social services in an R16 zone, approval of one city-initiated land development code revision, chapter 17.124, amending sections 17.124.50A by increasing the number of days benevolent meal services can be served from 2 to 3 days a week, and reducing the number of hours in those meetings can last from 3 to 2 hours per day. Participated in a joint city council planning commission workshop to discuss planning training. The planning commission looks forward to the upcoming year and serving the residents, Brookings, with a fair and unbiased decision-making process, as well as advise the city, Brookings City Council on matters affecting its residents.
thanks, Tony. Back to item 5, minutes for approval. Did everybody receive a copy and review the minutes of the November 7th, 2023 meeting? Did anybody, any corrections, any changes or corrections?
No, looks good to me.
Do I hear a motion?
I move that the planning commission approve the planning commission minutes of November 7th, 2023.
Second.
Commissioner Wolkowitz,
Aye.
Commissioner Coons,
Aye.
Commissioner Bond,
Aye.
Commissioner Bruce,
Aye.
Chair Watwood,
Aye.
motion carries.
Item 6, any unscheduled public appearances? Item 7, report from the planning staff.
Yeah, we have a meeting next month. We'll have 2 conditional use permits and 3 conditional use permits, 2 for short-term rentals and 1 for a storage unit. We have 2 vacancies on the planning commission that the city council is looking at filling right now.
Okay. Commission, have any final comments?
That was exciting.
Eventful.
First, huh?
Yeah.
I've been here for 14 years.
Yeah.
That's the first time.
Yeah, that was exciting.
Well, that was-
Yeah.
And the first time that I've had somebody request additional time, I think, that I can remember.
Yeah, well,
So-
you did good. You tried to walk her through it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Okay. It's 8:15, and the meeting's adjourned.